Hey everybody. Yeah, you can probably see the question up there. Basically, it's going to say something of why the need for character redesigns. And, well, quite frankly, and hold on for a second while I put the cover in the room, but I don't want to turn. Sorry about that, folks. Had to put it in the room and kind of do that. Anyway, yeah, the question is, why the need of character redesigns? Well, here's the thing about character redesigns, in case you don't know. And I mentioned this before in a text that I did yesterday, that I posted several message boards. I talked about this, I think, in my video yesterday, and I even talked about it in the video you've seen before this. The reason for character redesigns is real simple. The reason being is because of one reason: to attract an all-new audience. I said this basically in the text yesterday that I typed up. I said the reason, one of the possible reasons for Sally's redesign isn't just because maybe, and as a strong rumor and source have stated, because parents have complained about the fact that her vest, her Satyam Season 2 look, is too suggestive, if you will, or too risky. Nor could it be maybe Sega had a hand in this, or fans, finally got Archie and Sega to succumb to the peer pressure. No, it's more about attracting the new audience. The new audience basically is what makes up the franchise. Believe it or not, in some ways, especially today. You see, 15 years ago, let's say, for example, 15 years ago, Ken Penders decided to hold off on his robotization of Sally for Endgame. Let's say instead of trying to kill off Sally, or thus putting her in a coma in Endgame, let's say he wanted to roboticize her for those 4 issues and have her go against the Freedom Fighters. Back then, if she would have gotten restored, there's no doubt, and I think people will agree, that she would have been restored to the way she was. No doubt about that. I mean, heck, she was restored back to the way she was in 29. So a lot of people probably question now, why the sudden redesign? Does it have to do with the fact that she got modified and weaponized by Eggman? There's a strong possibility there. Could it be, as some sources have said, some parents, or group of parents, or even, with all due respect, individual moms and dads have felt that, hey, her Season 2 Satyam vest and boots only design is too suggestive and risky? Maybe. I mean, I know a lot of people pretty much come out and say, well, you know what, you could just say, hey, a lot of people pretty much say, you know what, you could just have a zip up the vest, that's it, if that's what they're thinking. That's true too, but again, it's all about attracting the new audience. I said this at the end of my other text, and I may be repeating myself here, I apologize, but Ian Flynn's main focus right now, it seems to me, and I'm sure some of you may or may not agree with this, is the newer, younger generation of fans that got into the Sonic comics after they got into the Sonic games. Now, you might think, well, that's still not a reason. Well, believe it or not, it is, because when you look at it from a corporate business sense, if you want to keep a franchise alive, if you want to keep the characters alive and refreshed, as some people, well, not refreshed, but fresh in people's minds, in the fans' minds, especially with the new generation, you want to make them look like, not act, but look like characters they've seen in the games. Thus, the reason for Sally's redesign, to make her look like something you would see in the games. Now, here's my thing about it. I wonder if maybe she will be. Because we've been hearing rumors of the franchise being rebooted. So what if? That's the scenario you got to think of. What if this is just the first step to maybe getting her into the games? Makes you think, right? Now, again, a lot of people still ask the question, why do we need a redesign in the first place? Well, redesigns always are not just happening in this comic. They happen everywhere. I mean, let's take, for example, when you go and get a haircut. Look at me. You can see in a lot of my previous videos, I had a lot more hair. This past weekend, me and my mother, we got our haircuts. I got a number 1 on the side and a number 2 on the top. Why? Because my hair was, well, 1, my hair was getting out of control. It was getting too long. And 2, I wanted to have a different look again. I wanted to have a look that I'm comfortable with, that people see on occasions, but not all the time. Especially like with winter coming around, they don't always see this. So they want to see something that they could see on occasions that makes you stand out and be different. I mean, my oldest sister, she had her hair always the way she's had it. She's had a certain design, but one time she just had it straightened out like this. That's how my sister had it. My oldest sister. So, and she did that because she wanted to have a different look. She wanted to try something different. My 20-year-old niece likes to dye her hair sometimes. She had red hair for I don't know how many years or so. But she went back to a kind of a beige, not a beige, but kind of a reddish black or something like that. I'm not really sure what the color's name is. Burgundy. Yeah, burgundy color, if you will. She went to that. And after a while, it was kind of a change, but we knew it was still her, even though she changed her hairstyle. She changed her hair color. I mean, look at this. I grow this, and when I shave this off, and I still have this, it's a different look for me. The goatee and everything. But when I shave this and the goatee off, and I see nothing but my face underneath, yeah, it's a bit of a shock. It takes time to get used to, even though it's the same face, but it takes time to get used to because you'll have the goatee and maybe the beard or whatever for so long that when you look in the mirror and you see just a clean shaven face, it takes a little bit to get used to it again because you're like, wow, I really what a difference, what a difference having a goatee or having a beard makes. Because now look at me, I'm all cleaned. But the point is, that's what a redesign is like. It's like, man, what a difference something makes. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I was always so used to seeing my dad with a mustache. Me and my sisters were always so used to seeing him with a mustache. One night, before we went to bed, or something like that, or one morning when we were getting up for bed, he shaves off. My mom tells him, why don't you try shaving off the mustache, see what happens. He shaves it off, walks into my room, walks into my sister's, and we're all like, ah! Because we're not used to seeing him without the mustache. We were not used to seeing him. And basically, again, that goes into the category somewhat of being redesigned, trying something different to probably get attention or probably get a reaction out of people. And that's exactly what Sally's redesign is doing. It's getting a reaction, a mixed reaction from a lot of fans, because some fans do like it, some fans don't. Some fans are kind of, like in the middle. They're like, yeah, it's good, but maybe they need to maybe they need to put in some classic tidbits here and there. I mean, one fan said that the one thing they should hopefully do, because from what they see, the picture basically looks like a rough concept of what the official design is going to look like. But basically they're saying, look, why don't you add they should try to at least keep a little classic Sally in her by maybe putting in the little furry tuffies, the little tufts of fur on her cheeks, to at least give us that notion that it is her, even though you can see it's her in the face. You know it's her in the face. And it's the same thing, when you look at some other comics and shows. In the last 3 seasons of the original TMNT, and I mentioned this in the text and in the video, I believe in the video, April went from the yellow jumpsuit to what she had, the jacket, the blue t-shirt and the pants, slacks if you will, still had her original, hairdo. Still had her original classic hairdo from the previous 7 seasons. But also now she had blue eyes. She had blue eyes and black pupils. But then as we got into the last 2 seasons, her hair went straighter. Her hair went straighter. She became more freelanced, and there you go. I mean, even the Turtles themselves went through a redesign for those last 3 seasons. There was the Red Sky season, all because they wanted to have the redesigns match up to what fans were seeing in the movies, as live-action movies, as well as possibly what they were seeing in the Archie comics. That's why the redesigns happened. Take a look at Charlie in Biker Mice from Mars 2006. She had a complete redesign. Hold on. She had a complete redesign as well when the new series came out. Yeah, it was different animators, or same if not different animators, but she had a different redesign as well. Her hair was no longer long, it was short and everything. Complete overhaul on her character, right? Same with Carbide. Heck, even same with Harley in Turf Wars. The point I'm trying to make is, even though it could be different animators that take over and say, okay, we need to upgrade or update the look, sometimes I'm sorry. What I'm trying to say is, even if it's a different animation team or animators, the reason they update and upgrade the look, if not updated, is to, again, attract the newer, younger generation and that newer audience. It's like I said earlier, Ian Flynn probably thinks that way, has that business mentality. He probably thinks, well, and same with Archie Comics, and even Sega. They probably realize, what? There are a lot of fans that like Sally, but if this new generation that's liking her, that's coming in, starting to like her, they'll like her even more if she looks like something from the games. That way we can keep her refreshed, or we can freshen up her character, and it'll keep her and this portion of the franchise, the comic book portion, alive. You see, the thing is, there will be a lot of criticism about redesigns. There's no doubt about it. I mean, somebody said, look at Spyro and the Spyro games. Okay, good example there. Heck, even look at Sonic's franchise. Look back in '99 when they revamped him. They changed him, gave him the green eyes, made him more statuesque. Amy, they changed her. And then they even adapted it into the story for the Sonic Adventure Adaptation, which where it explained how she became older by using the ring of acorns and poof! You know what I mean? Take a look at Bunny. Bunny, who right now is AWOL, if you will, in many fans' minds. Take a look at her. I don't know what issue, I think it was issue 77, I believe, when they were going to school, or something like that, or 78. The first page or so has her sitting on the floor with Rhoda playing video games in her design, and the design we're used to. Then a few pages later, here she is arriving at school, Daisy Duke outfit, with her hairband, with her bangs out like this. And she kept that look for a few issues. She did. She kept that look for a few issues. It's hard to believe. Yeah, she went back to her original look and everything. Yeah, that's true. It's cool. But she kept her Daisy Duke look for a few issues. It was tested out. And obviously it didn't pass, but still they were testing it out. That's the same thing with Sally's new design right now. When it officially debuts, they're going to see how well it goes over. And if it goes over well, they'll probably keep it. If it's mixed, kind of 50-50, they'll be like, okay, we'll keep it like this at times, but then we'll change it back to what she was. And again, going back to Bunny. Bunny went from having, she started having long hair, right? So did Sally. Both were given long hair. That was a bit of a redesign. But then take a look at after, Sonic came back. She had a cowgirl belt, a trench coat, gloves, if you will, the finger through gloves, if you will, a cowgirl hat, and like I said, a belt with a gun on it. Well, how much more of a redesign do you need? She still had long hair. And take a look at Rotor. I mentioned this yesterday. He gets the nanite suit. Okay, big deal. Some people point out the boots and the jacket. Yeah, that's true. Take a look at Nicole. She got her redesign from a portable computer to her current Lynx style to basically, are you ready for this? To having an occasional outfit at times. Occasional outfit with the hat and all that. With the hat, the tee, and the shorts, and the jean shorts, and the boots. So, and basically that's, well, it's still around, obviously. People still draw her like that. You can see that in a place like DeviantArt. But the point I'm trying to make is sometimes a redesign will succeed, and sometimes it won't. In other words, if it gets a mixed reaction, it might go back and forth. I think what they're doing with Sally here is saying, yeah, this is going to probably be her new look going forward, but we may, I'm trying to think this is what they may do, they may go back and forth. Because you got to look at this. She's going to be seen in her Season 2 Sally Acorn design on the covers of all these archive books. Of all these books, like the Sonic Archives, the Selects, the Best of Sonic, the Encyclopedia. She's going to be seen the way she is, folks. So, the point of the matter is this. Doesn't matter how you feel about the redesign, the reason the character redesigns happen, whether it's the Sonic comic book, whether it's the X-Men, Biker Mice, Spyro, Mario Brothers, if you will, the original Ninja Turtles, even the new Ninja Turtles, if you will, Bill. And heck, even the newer Ninja Turtles, which just came out this year, with a teenage April and a teenage Casey. Get what I'm saying? Despite how you feel, is to attract a new generation and a new audience. That's what it is. That's all it's about. Attract a new audience and a new generation of fans that have gotten into it in the past maybe decade or in the past 5 years to decade, 10 years. Best 5 to 10 years. That's basically what it is. To attract them. We may not like the decision, but from a business sense, it's like, okay, from a business sense, corporations know that, yeah, the older generation and the older fans may not like this, but from a business standpoint, we have to keep this franchise fresh. We have to keep these characters fresh for the new generation that's going to come in. That's why they do it, for the new generation, whether we like it or not. Whether we like it or not. I mean, you take a look at wrestling, for example, WWE. Everybody's saying John Cena needs to refresh his character and needs to get more edgy or go heel. Until that time is right, until they figure out somebody that's going to take his place, it's not going to happen. You take a look back in wrestling in the mid-90s when the NWO was formed. That was a good decision on WCW's part to have Hogan go heel because it refreshed his character. It rebooted his character as well as it rebooted Sting's character. It basically refreshed and rebooted several characters to be who, rebooted and refreshed several characters so that the new generation of fans could follow them and get to know them and, really get behind them. That's why the NWO thing in WCW happened. The point I'm trying to make is this. We may not like redesigns if we're an older generation and we're used to characters the way they are, especially if we see a character the way she is for the past 20 years. But again, it's all the reason for character redesigns, no matter what the medium, comic books, movies, cartoons, whatever, wrestling, is to refresh the character and make them fresh to a new generation and newer and younger generation that in the business sense, when the older generation, which I'm a part of, finally moves on, that generation, that newer, younger generation will still be there to keep the franchise going, keep the characters alive. Whether we like the decisions that are made or not, that is why this happens. So that's basically my take on why there is a need of character redesigns, or why the need of character redesigns. You got any comments? Let me know down below. Video response if you like, and I'll talk to you all later.